All right, I hope you guys are having a good 4th. I'm going to do some guitar practice today. We're going to do these live. Our live guitar practice number 29. Still working on American Girl, 2nd day, so still is not surprising. Just going to kind of be working on these parts. Ask me questions if you have it. Great song by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Watched a couple live videos of them. Mike Campbell usually plays the lead guitar part on a telly, so I grabbed my telly. Thought it'd be nice to bring it back. It's been a while since I played it. So this is guitar part. We technically call this the rhythm guitar part. So if you guys go to our website and want to get the sheet music, it's rhythm guitar. The other one's lead guitar. All right, so I'm just going to kind of do a little review of what we did yesterday. So the strum pattern in the intro on the rhythm guitar. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and. We'll just do each measure at a time. Well, we'll do it without metronome, and then we'll add metronome in a minute. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and. Next measure, 1 E and 2 and 3. 4, 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. Next measure, 1 E and 2 and 3 and. We're going to start, when we do metronome, we're going to go slow enough that you can really just hear that pulse as I was just playing it. You're just really trying to hear where those downbeats are and where you have to put your strum. Last measure, 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Let's do one at a time to just really sink in. I think we want to even start at 60. Looking for more like a meditative, just run through it. Get that rhythm really ingrained at this slow tempo, so when I speed it up, it's there, it's in my brain. And 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2, 3. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4. 1 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4. 4 1 and 2 E and 3 4. 1 and 2 E and 3 4. 1 and cool. It's kind of my guitar warm up for today too. So like taking some extra time on each measure to just really get in sync. And 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 2 and 3. 1 E and 2 and 3. 4. 1 E and 2 and 3. 4, 1 E and 2 and 3. 1 E and 2 and 3. 4. So I'm kind of like slurring that one a little bit. 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 and 3. 4. 1 E and 2 and 3. It's a little shaky in that. Don't know why. Whenever I counted it, I was fine. Just, you know, the minute I stopped counting, I let my mind drift. So that's why. Focus. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 and 3 and. With students, I always say you got to count until you don't have to count. So that one's the same as the middle one, or the second one. Let's do all 4 of those in a row. We're going to start with some mutes, just get the idea, the different changing of the rhythms in our brain, and then we'll go to the chords. 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. Might be half like it forces me to focus and really be engaged with what I'm doing, but just count it over and over again until you do not have to count it, which I get on a live stream might be a little annoying. Be like, that guy's counting the entire time. But the more you can get that locked into your brain, I'll go to sleep tonight and you're 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4, and it becomes a part of just your gray matter in your brain. Now, don't quote me, it doesn't actually become a part of your gray matter, but you get the idea. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. So again, not perfect throughout, but just trying to get that groove. Trying to, instead of that metronome being so stoic and stiff, which it is, and it should be, try to jam with it, try to groove with it. So I'm just spending about 20 minutes on each of these, maybe 20, 25. So I'm going to try to hit this section for about 10 minutes, and then the second half of the intro for 10 minutes, and then move to the other guitar part. Just kind of make sure like I'm hitting everything today. Go from there. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3. Shouldn't have jumped in. That was a bad one. 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3. You got to hear it in your head, and I can't say that I always do. There's a glimpse of it. The more I practice, the more I count. I hear exactly what I want to play, and then I can play it. So let's go one faster. I guess if we're going to spend 10 minutes on this part, we're about 9 minutes in. Let's do 78 and then stop. 115 is the full speed of the song, but I can start to hear even at 72, which I think we just did, if I remember math correctly. I can start to hear a little bit of shakiness in my rhythm, unconfidence, lack of confidence. And I want to make sure I don't push too fast right now and just make it more sloppy and not really hear the exercise. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 1 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3. So just hear me rush that first measure because I don't hear 1 and a E end. Especially because like I'm getting this repetition, right? I'm doing these 4 measures over and over again, and the song kind of takes off a little bit, or at least changes. The rhythmic movement changes a little bit. So my brain's hearing like 4, 1, and 4. Just kind of do it a couple times in context. Also, I just noticed that this plays a D, and I'm never doing that. But, yeah, we'll worry about that later. I'm going to have to not play that D. All right, a couple more times. Just run through this, and then we're going to move to the next section. 1, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 and a... and a 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. So I really, actually now I want to learn that because I did it a little bit on accident. So it's just, you could argue that maybe he's not strumming that first string on any of those chords. Like he's kind of keeping his strum more. But you heard me just getting a little bit of that chord in there. So if anything, what I would do is lift, if you're practicing this and learning this, I would lift my second finger on all of those chords, which is kind of interesting because all of a sudden I got really good. I got used to. Right now my middle finger's just floating. But all of a sudden just having that guy rest throws my brain off a little bit. Because I want to press down when I do that hammer on. So just gotta walk through that slow. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. Put that finger down. It's so... Actually, it would probably be because it lets ring the entire time. So it'd actually be... And just try not to hit it. That might be a nuance that right now I'm not going to care as much about because that's going to slow me down. And oops. Does it need to be saved? It wants to. Okay, let's move on. Before I get distracted, as you can probably tell that I already am. All right, so each of these, we're just going to play these at a time. We're going to do the first 4, like for 5 or 6 minutes. My big issue with this is just going from 4 to 5. That's not the issue, but the slide. And keeping that slide in time, making sure I'm going 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and. So that first measure would be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. All right, let's hear how fast 40 is. Slow. 40 is slow. And 1 E and 2 E. Let's try this. And 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. it's a nice tempo to warm up. You hear how slow it is, though. That's almost hard for me to play in time. It's a little bit of an excuse. You know, you should be able to play at any tempo. Let's do for fun 46, though. So no slides in this measure. 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Same thing if you're learning this part. On those 16th notes, probably can't talk and play at the same time. On the 16th notes, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then just down strums. All right, that one sounded good at that faster tempo. More slides. And 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Cool. Just one pattern left, and then we're going to put the 4 of those together. 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and. Cool. So let's keep that tempo. Zoom out just a little bit. Now the cool thing is you can look at the more of the intros playing that idea. It's a good idea to try to get in your fingers at that tempo, 1:15 when we have to get there. Hopefully get there by tomorrow. And then, yeah, there's a lot of different stuff throughout, but this idea gets covered a lot. So let's try it without metronome. And then we'll try it with. So we got 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So probably won't be counting that the entire time. I just have to. Counting makes me honest. Like, it keeps me in time. It pushes me into being not spacey and staring off and even staring off of my brain, which is a common problem of mine. 1 and a 2 E and a 3, 4. Cool. We're just going to now speed it up. Later we can worry about the variations in the other section. Let's go to 52. And a 4 and a 1, 2 and 4 and. to play the right part. One pause. I think we can go faster though too. That was good. It's good. Clearly, you know, sometimes my sight reading gets thrown off just a little bit. I get thrown off. Can't blame my sight reading. 3 and a 4 and up to 62. We'll do it 2 more times. We'll do one more tempo jump, and then let's move on. Yeah, and sometimes it's the battle of, like, you don't have to get this to full speed right now. You just need to get the idea. Get the idea, and then later on we can pump the tempo up. Because part of me is like, well, I just want to keep playing this. But you're better off, like, spending 10 minutes on an idea, moving to the next idea, and then repeating that. And if you could do that cycle, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get just better practice in. You burn out quickly on practice. On one idea, I should say. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and... Again, it doesn't need to be perfect right now. I gotta, you know, that's my problem. Like, I'm like, it needs to sound perfect. It needs to sound good right now. It's like, no. Learn the idea. Learn this 16th note idea. Get relaxing in both hands. I'm tensing up a little bit as we get these faster tempos, and that defeats the purpose. Like, I'm not going to play smooth throughout if I'm tense. I'm not going to be able to play fast if I'm tense. So some of it's learning the song. Some of it's just learning better technique as you learn the song. Take a break, come back the next time. You can see my, like, skills are slipping a little bit as I play. It's fast. It's half. I'll tell them it. 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. Cool. Let's move on from that part. Sometimes, here, let me quick save that to make sure I'm good. I would hate for me to lose that. Okay. All right, so now let's look at the lead guitar part. What I was going to say is, like, you can only have so much concentration. And for a part that you're sight reading, you're reading 4 5 5 5 4 4 4 5 slide slide slide. You know, sometimes your brain wanders, and it's like, bring it back to focus. But sometimes you're like, okay, that was my 10 minutes. Kind of have a timer in my head going, and like, move on to a new idea. See if your brain's fresh yet. All right, so we're gonna start with the 16th note. This is the chimey guitar part. Skip ahead to the 4th measure. It's this part: 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E. So things I need to work on. 1 is get up to tempo. 2 is like, I don't want those accents that I'm putting in every once in a while. It should sound very just rhythmically straight. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So before I'm even gonna play a chord, I'm just gonna get this. Oh, I put an accent on 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Now you can hear that I'm thinking about that accent, and some of those ends of the 3 get a little soft. So I think I want to start actually a little bit slower. Let's try 60, just to really lock in on those 16th notes. If you guys have been watching the channel for a bit, you notice that I've been doing a lot of like 16th note strum patterns, because I'm trying to fix some stuff in my rhythm issues that I have. So that kind of prepared me for this as well. So it's kind of like a nice benefit of it. And, just makes your tracking life easier if you spend a lot of time on some funk. So if you guys need to work on that, check that out. Let's hear the tempo. And a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. What's so important to make this song work, that beginning part, is getting that nice bit of sound on that D coming out. And you don't hear it all the time from my playing, right? You hear sometimes, it's not that bad ever, but I'm going to purposely mute that D string. So see, I'm missing that. I'm missing for one called the drone note, that D. So for me, I probably want to play it like this so I can get these mutes. Yesterday I was muting like that, but I felt like sometimes that's actually probably fine. I would probably do that, but if I get tired of that, just putting my thumb up over top on that 5th and 6th string will help mute it. So we got 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a. So I'm going to put the end of 3 in the right spot. That's my goal number 1. And then 2 is not accent any of those beats. So that's why we want to start slow. 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a. Now you hear that D string in there better? Timing. All right, let's speed that up a little bit. Let's go by 6s. Don't go too fast to ruin the idea that we have. Back to mutes. And a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and 2, 3, 4. when I keep playing it over and over again, I'm trying to like solidify the idea. Is this hand holding soft enough? Not putting too much tension on? Yeah, okay, well, that's happening. Is this hand relaxed? Am I getting all those strings in there? Is it sounding even? Those are the things why I'm like, sometimes I'll just sit there and play that measure for a minute. Let's go 72. Same idea. Start with those mutes. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, every time I do a new song, either for myself or for a student, I'm doing this exact same process. It's not a new idea. So, like, you spend 20 minutes, or maybe I spend 4 hours learning this song. These ideas are going to transplant to the next song. So it's not just learning American Girl. I'm learning Mike Campbell's skill set. Kind of like a power-up almost, if you will. And so you're getting all of that. So it's like, okay, you want to do this right. You want to understand it, and then you move on. And don't move on before that. And then you see every time it's a shorter window. It'll take 10 minutes next time, and 20 minutes, and then that's actually going up in time. But you know what I mean. A couple of times with the right strum pattern. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and. Gotta make it sound cleaner. And you can always like get up to 115. And then if I notice I'm getting a lot of that A string in there a lot, I can always slow it back down and fix some of those things too. All right, we're going to do 78, and then we're going to move on. Get in the obsessive territory, but that's okay. All right. I don't think we need to work on this, so instead we're going to spend the last about 10 minutes or so. So, okay, there's all these variations that he's playing. Don't care right now. Like sometimes he plays the 8th note there. He played 2 8th notes. Oh, my gosh. Not a big enough deal. I will need to work on that. Like, my sight reading is not good enough to just jump in. Okay, let's look at verse 2. I can't read. Look at verse 1. And then we'll move to the hard part. So verse 1's pretty easy. The only big issue, I think, is, strumming the right amount of strings. Getting that mute in there. So I just said it was easy. It's relatively easy. I always love it, too, when there's a mute like this in here. He was going 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and... Right? He's setting himself up to move. 2 3 4 2 3 4 2 3 4. I think it does the same thing. Yeah. So we don't really need to work on verse 1. I don't. I don't think you guys do either. This is what I need to work on. I've looked at this part tons of times. I've taught this in lessons before. It's just I don't know. It's a little bit in space. It's a little bit of chord movement stuff that's going on. It looks a lot of fun, but a little bit challenging for me, where my skill set is. So let's look. He ends on that A. It's kind of the cool part of the song, too, where there's like 2 A's in a row, and I think the chords switch around. So this first measure is 1 E and 2 and 3 and. All right. Before we get too far, let's grab this metronome, or this tempo marking. So I'm going to spend 10 minutes on this idea or so, and it's going to be a little bit bad. It's going to be like the first look at it, and whenever you do that for the first time, you know, you're learning a lot. I'm not too concerned with this measure, but we'll look at it. Let's do 64, just kind of see how that is. It's kind of a callback to that 16th note rhythm that they've been doing before. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's actually check that. Well, I'm hoping you guys are all having a good 4th. And I'm pretty excited because that's exactly how I'd want to spend my 4th, is playing guitar, doing videos, working on Tom Petty songs, because Tom Petty's one of my fave, if not the fave. All right, so I'm not concerned with that measure. Let's look at this. Timing again, we got that 16th note. We got tuning pedal that doesn't like me. Open. So we got 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. Right? Like, that's not that hard. There's nuance to how he plays it. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah. So I just need to do that like 100 times and hear that rhythm, because I don't yet. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. I guess I shouldn't say I don't hear the rhythm, because I can hear the song in my head, but the second I put the metronome in, it's going to go like, you know, that downbeat is on right after that too. So 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to try to learn both these measures together, because they do kind of play off each other, but I think they all do. All right, we're going to try to learn this by itself, I guess. See if I can get that turnaround. 1 E and 2 and what I'm doing right now is stalling. I just don't really want to play it with metronome and suck. So just kind of bite the bullet and get it over with. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3, 4 and. Let's just hear how fast 64 is. That 2. All right, faster than I'm perceiving it at this point. So let's do 58. I just want a slow walkthrough. I want to try to understand what I'm playing. Even though it's single note stuff, let's do this on a mute. And 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and. All right, I was doing okay, and then I thought, and then I looked. 2 things to not do: do not think, do not look. 1 E and 2 and 3 and. Interesting, right? So your downbeat is on 1 E and click, click, click. Like that gets my brain going, huh? We're gonna go a little bit slower. All right, I'll quit stalling. I'll get this done. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and. And 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and. Since I keep missing that, work on those small movements. Which is funny because in the song it doesn't actually go to that string, but I'll have to use that eventually. Rushed it, but. All right, still rushing it. Let's hear that to me. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all right, clearly struggling a little bit, but that's okay. I've always looked at this. So what is he actually playing on this G chord? So he's going, right? I don't know how Mike Campbell plays his G's. I usually play mine with that ring finger on the 3rd fret. I'm going to play this one like this because I think that's what he's trying to do. And I don't know if that 4... Oh, I think so. I think that 4 just belongs more to that E minor chord. All right, let's check that tuning one more time. All right, so 1 E and a 2, and nice thing, we're going to be repeating these rhythms a lot. 1 E and a 2. So same thing. Clearly my guitar skills need to get upgraded, and that's fine. We're doing that today. Get that idea. I need to know the distance between those two strings. 6 3 6 3 6 3. So you get to the point where you're not. I mean, one, I'm not looking anymore, right? But you're also not missing it. So 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. Then, since the ring starts over, I mean, clearly means that he's picking up his hand here, but he's playing. What is that? So it's an F sharp, which makes sense. Now, John wrote this tab, and I think he said 2018 is when he did the sheet music for this one. So this is a long time ago. So he's actually looking at this week and might make a couple changes, some updates. But I think that's probably there. We'll listen to the music down the road. And, you know, I would like to take the Logic Pro has that new function where you can split stems. I'd like to do that in a session and try to hear, like, the guitar parts and not to catch John doing something wrong, but to hear some nuances of how Mike Campbell played this. And I think, like I said, he played the other guitar part as well. Oh, I got to play the right notes. Oh, obviously that rubs because we're going G, F sharp, right? And then getting ahead of myself. This is fun, but you can kind of tell my brain is getting to the place where it's like a little mushy. So I'm going to try to power through, get these two ideas done. So let's try to just play that a couple times. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. So I'm going to ignore that first. Just do the first half, ignore the second half, and then I'll put the second half in and ignore the first half. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and that's what we need. 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. Gotta play that in time. 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 E I don't know why I look over here. There's only a window, but so that might be just where my brain is like mushy, and I need to take a break. Okay, it's so fun to play, but I need to probably just chill for a bit and come back with a drum live. Still be working on American Girl. Hope to do 2 or 3 of these today. I'm setting my goal for 2. If I hit 3, I'd be really, really happy. If I have enough energy, we'll do 4 because this is fun to break down, and I'm not doing anything else on the 4th of July. If you guys want to support the channel, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have sheet music for sale at our website, musicbythemeasurespro.com. Teaching exercises, all that good stuff, and help support us making more content like this, and you give it even input on the songs that you would like to have down the road. So I'll be taking a break, and I'll talk to you guys all soon.